Just got the thumbs up from Chris. We just listed an 80-acre farm down in Marion County, south of Knoxville. Listed it 3 days ago, got 2 offers, and just got an accepted offer. Well, it's about the end of September here. We're just finally getting things kind of wrapped up on the farm before season opens here in Iowa. Bought these Cuddyback cell cameras a couple weeks ago and came put them out, and for some reason they weren't sending a signal, so had to come out and check on them today. Updated the firmware and now they seem to be working fine, so fingers crossed anyway. Once we leave, we're still getting pictures, but it was a good excuse anyway to come out and check the food plots. We only got 1 rain after we got them planted, and I wasn't really expecting a lot, but last time we were out here we planted and then we mowed off the clover, and that rain, it really did a number. I mean, it lasted 2 or 3 days, so it was a good long soaking rain, but we haven't had anything since. But the plots look okay. I mean, they look as good as can be expected. Clover actually looks better than I thought, so I'm excited. Season's already just right up, I mean, a few days away now, so it's right around the corner. This is that one looks like it's been worked over pretty good. It's all twisted up. That one that's hanging down. Pull the SD out of this one. So this is a spot I don't come to very often. I have a stand down here right in the corner of this bean field. Last year this was all alfalfa, and they put it to beans this year, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to impact the deer movement. They planted quite a bit more than just what was in alfalfa. They actually came into the pasture up above and planted that as well. The reason I like this spot, at least in past years, is there wasn't a whole lot of activity out here in the mornings. They're mostly out in the crop fields surrounding this little patch of timber, and I would pop into that pasture, come down, wouldn't ever blow any deer out, hop right in the stand, and then about mid-morning the deer would start filtering back into this timber and then move through back out to bed. So we'll have to see how it impacts them this year. I haven't really put any cameras deep in the timber like this in a long time. I generally just try and stay out of the areas and let the deer feel comfortable, you know, so that we get some daylight activity. But I'm going to try taking this one into a spot. It's pretty deep up here into the timber. I don't think it's a real heavy bedding area, but there's definitely a lot of trails that kind of crisscross in this little bottom. I've always wanted to have a camera there for the rut, just to kind of see when activity starts picking up. It's usually a spot where during the rut you'll catch the cruising during the daylight. It's a little tight pinch point that skirts the edge of a bunch of bedding areas. So anyway, we're going to try and sneak in there and throw that camera up. We're back in this spot where we were in the first episode of Beyond the Dirt. This is the plots that we had planted, and you can see over my shoulder how well these plots are doing compared to the ones where we were just at up on the hill there. This ground's bottom ground. It's really good soils. Here in Iowa, we use a CSR rating system. This is like in the mid 80s, so really good dirt. Holds moisture well, compared to that up on the hills in like the 30s, just really thin, sandy soil. So with the lack of moisture, lack of rain that we've had, these bottom plots down here are actually looking really good. Pull the cards out. There's quite a few tracks in here. Yeah, see, this is the problem. They'll come right here and you can't see anything for that tree. It's about 35 yards right there. Kind of tough to tell, but that's a angled split right there. Hardly feels like fall, but got combines going all around us, and son already shot a nice buck, so I guess it's here. Flies are still pretty bad today though. We just wrapped up throwing some cameras out. It was a pretty good day. We got our Madison County 6.5 acres. We got an offer on that one. Pretty sure that one's going to come together. Marion County 80 acre piece. We got a pretty solid offer on that one and verbally accepted. And then we got 100 acres up in Story County, row crop farm. Got an offer on that one today as well. So a pretty solid day for real estate business, and got the trail cameras, hopefully, fingers crossed, dialed and working now. So pretty excited to see what's running around on this farm, and get home now and get some dinner. Look at this, I got this fancy toolbox. Put all my stuff in. Sit. Yeah, this is 80 acres in Marion County. We threw some trail cameras out there when we listed it. We only let them soak about 5 days, and we got several pretty nice bucks. That one right there is ridiculous. I mean, he's a really nice 10. I'd hate to guess what he goes, but that's a nice buck. That's a really nice buck. Got him working this scrape. Working on those 2 scrapes there pretty hard, just on a little mowed trail through the timber. And then there was this one, which is kind of hard to see in the picture, but man, he's pretty wide, and he's a 9-point. Get a few pictures of him. There you can see him a little better. So if he had a 4 on this side, he'd be a really nice 10 as well, but I mean, still crazy 9. He's got some good beam length on him. Look at that thing. He's so wide. Austin is just young buck. A couple young bucks in there that is pretty good potential. Got some decent mass for a younger deer. But anyway, today we're on a new listing that I had, and we just listed this farm yesterday, and so I thought it would be kind of interesting as we're walking around getting this property ready to hit the market, that we talk about some of the things that you should look for if you're trying to buy a property. So as we're walking around, there's some recent excavation work in this ditch line. You can see Iowa One Call's been out here flagging the water lines and the buried cables. And that brings up a good point when you're looking to buy a property that is kind of off the grid or out in a rural area. You don't always have access to internet, and so it's good to check with utility providers. You can look for these little green boxes. That's a sure sign that you're probably going to have some access to utilities. Yeah, those are some deep draws back in there.
I've been hunting since I was 12.
Yeah.
But before that, I went with Dad and everybody else. But can I get you to write how much it was?
I did.
Okay. How many acres and all that?
Yep, I've got acres, 23 acres, and 175, and then the 6 acres is 90, okay. And that's this piece. Yep.
Okay.
And then there's my name and phone number.
Okay, I'll...
Well, we had a brief interruption. We had a neighbor stop by and just kind of inquire about what we were doing out here. We're on top of a really big, tall ridge that just drops off into no man's land on both sides. Huge valleys. You just don't see many farms or properties like this in this part of Iowa. Usually you get over by the river, you'll see these big drops, ridges and valleys. That's a holler. That's what they call it back in southern Missouri. It's a holler down there. So on this farm, I've noticed that there's a few different access trails, which is kind of nice. A good thing to remember too when you're looking at a property is that if you can't get in and access it with equipment, whether that be a small four-wheeler or tractor, whatever you have, it's going to be tough to get any work done. And if you get a deer way back in the timber, make it harder to get it out. So if they're not there, it's good to keep that in mind. Look at the terrain and see if there's a way that you could easily put trails in. This property, as I said, happens to have them already. Could use some maintenance, but the trails are here. Got a couple culverts in and crossings already made, so that's nice. And this one. There's an old saying, good fences make good neighbors. That's for good reason. If you buy a property that doesn't have good established fences that have been there for a while, you might want to consult with a surveyor. A surveyor can come out, establish the corners and also center points along the lines so that not only you but also the neighbors know where those boundaries are. It's like there's a buck just stood here and went berserk on these two little bushes. And he shredded them. That's pretty cool to see. Well, we're just about to wrap it up for the day here on this farm, but later this week we'll be down at the Marion County farm, and that's 137 acres just south of Knoxville we just listed. When we're down there, if we're able to get some content, we'll share that with you as well.
Yeah. This?
Yeah.
This?
No, he leases this right here. This one, this isn't that?
This is, there's a 60-foot wide swath here that kind of goes up to this pasture here. But this pond and these beans are not part of his ground. It just follows this fence line, kind of the chute right here. And we'll probably want to get some good pictures of like this open area, because that's probably where your building site would be as you're driving through here. You know, you put your house right there on the hill, and then you kind of have a good view of the valley there. And all that tillable is back there on the other side. The corner of the pasture.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try to get down to this corner where this timber is.
You might be able to do that. Otherwise, it's kind of a long walk to that back corner. So maybe you're right down here and then walk back up. And
yeah, I think if we get a
go back over there.
Camera down here, maybe where this little ditch meets the main part of the trees.
Possible.
Stick a camera down there and put one on the other side too. So we came down to the southwest corner of a new listing we have here, and we actually just sold the 80 acres to the south of it, and we had some pretty good pictures of some really nice bucks. So we wanted to get a camera on this new farm to the north and see if we can pick up any of those deer or any new deer. High hopes for where we just set this camera. We made a mock scrape over here and hoping something good will show up on it. So we were just walking through the southwest side of the farm, kind of down where this timber is, and they do graze this for cattle. So the cattle have kind of got it opened up down here, and we're just walking down through here down a trail and walked up on a scrape that looks like they've been using. Okay. So we were just on the southwest corner of the farm, put a camera down there, and we just walked up to the northwest corner of the farm, and it looks pretty good up here. We're just walking down the fence line and walked up on this scrape. It's exactly what you want to find this time of year.
And 36.5 acres are currently being tilled, and it's got 48 CSR2 on it. So
Home and find out where it's at.
all right, we just wrapped up walking this 137 acre farm here south of Knoxville. This is in Marion County. It's got great building site. It's got wildlife, plenty of deer. We just bumped 8 turkeys out here, a couple longbeards with them.
Farms like this are usually overlooked by people, looking for whitetails or even turkey hunting. But there's just enough trees on this farm to hold deer, and there's big timber to the north and big timber to the south. So it's actually, properties like this are really overlooked for the hunting aspect of it. Alright, we're out here on the new Marion County 320 or 300 acre piece that we just listed with KILOTERRA. A couple cool things about this property. There's aspects for the recreational hunter, the developer, farmers, just somebody looking for a nice investment property. Back over my left shoulder, it's some gravel road here that leads kind of the middle of the property. It's an ingress egress easement. This easement, it's gravel road, great access to the center of the farm. It makes driving, walking, anything like that super easy, and it's just really convenient to be able to have a road that kind of goes through right to the center of the farm for farming equipment. Humongous culverts. Both Colin and I immediately stopped and looked at it and were like, oh, that's a perfect spot for a food plot. It's a small area, but don't overlook these. Right behind us, there's a access trail, so walking in and out super easy. And then something like this, you can do a poor man plot type here, backpack, pump sprayer, kill it, plant it. But yeah, we were walking this edge, tore up with scrapes, got some rubs on it, and this little opening right behind me just screams perfect little food plot. So don't overlook those kind of areas. This one would set up perfect for bow hunting. Keep them pinched in between the corn. Looks really cool. But didn't think about it until driving out. We're just wrapping up viewing the 320 acre listing that I have here in Marion County. Every time I come out here, it gets more beautiful. We're in October, so leaves are changing, crops are turning, crops are getting harvested. So it's a good time to get out here, get some more video and photos, and some aerial video and photos. If you guys are interested, you can find more information, www.KILOTERRA.com. That's where we'll have a bunch more information, photos, videos, and that kind of stuff for the property. So.
Unfortunately, you put a for sale sign up on a property, most people think that they can just go in and help themselves. And in this case, it was actually legitimate. We had a real estate agent that showed up, and the owners weren't aware of the appointment for some reason. It's a big family, so I think the main contact was aware we had an appointment, but one of the brothers wasn't, and he happened to meet the individual unexpectedly as they were trying to get in the house. So anyway, those things happen, but we try to make sure that the sellers all know when appointments are set up, and so they're not caught by surprise. That was a property that Drew Jackson listed. It's over south of the Cumming Norwalk exit, just off 35. It's a pretty neat place. He was out there today, and they got the drone up, flying it around and checking it out. So already had quite a bit of interest on that place. Well, we're standing out here in western Dallas County, just southeast of Redfield. We've got 3 listings in this little spot right here, and we're on a 56 acre piece we just listed a couple days ago. Came out here for a showing tonight, had that 23 acre piece that we listed, and showing went pretty well. People seem to be pretty interested in it, and had just a little bit of time left here to get the drone up and do some videos and quick pictures of this little 56 acres that's just south of it. So it's been a good week, super busy. We're about to wrap it up here. We're losing light for today. Pretty neat little place over here. But really appreciate you guys following up with us and checking in. We've been working pretty hard to get these videos up every week, and it's pretty tough to do right now with everything that's going on. But as I said, appreciate you checking in and watching the videos. If we have some action over the next few days, we'll try and get that to you next week.